Good morning. Nice to see you again this morning. I hope you're well this morning. Another day to serve the Lord, another day to seek Him, another day to live for Him. Yes, and I'm doing a little diversion today. We're popping out of Luke's Gospel to a verse that's been on my mind for several days and that I've been exploring. I'm privileged to have studied New Testament Greek a bit when I was doing my theological training, and it fascinates me often the use of words in the scriptures. And of course, words are very important. And it's one of the reasons perhaps that I get a bit hot under the collar with some of these modern paraphrases that change all the words in a verse simply to make a point more elaborately perhaps than the scriptures themselves make it. And I think the words that are used are very important. And one way to understand the words is actually to see where the same Greek word is used in other parts of the New Testament. Of course, the Old Testament was not written in Greek, so it's best to stick to the New Testament when you're comparing words. And when you find another verse that has exactly the same word used, I mean, it may be that in many verses, a word you're looking at is translated using the same English word. But if it's a translation from a different Greek word, the origin of that word may be slightly different, and it may carry a different meaning as a result. So we can't really compare verse with verse in the English translations because we don't use the same words. I'm not being very clear, but I hope you'll see what I mean. We're going to look in 1 John 3, verse 8, verse 8. 1 John 3, verse 8 has a sentence in here that says, "The reason the Son of God appeared was to destroy the works of the devil." Now, the word destroy comes up quite a few times in the New Testament in our English translation. But the word used in this verse, the Greek word, is only used in this verse and one other verse in the New Testament. It's a particular word. It doesn't mean destroy, doesn't mean destroy as in blow up or burn. What it means is destroy in the sense of undo, in the sense of melt. Actually, the Amplified is very helpful in this. It says it here. The reason the Son of God was made manifest or visible was to undo, destroy, loosen, and dissolve the works of the devil. And also in the Greek, it can also mean melt, as in wax. So this word destroy has the idea of undoing, of loosening something that is tied up in knots, or of dissolving something and changing its constitution. And wax melting changes its shape and everything. So it's not destroying the thing. The wax doesn't get destroyed, it gets melted and the shape is changed. And I was thinking, I've been meditating on it and thinking that this is a bit like, I mean, I do a lot of knitting and crocheting, and if I made a mistake, I can undo the work and then I can re-knit it. And you wouldn't know a mistake had ever been made there because you can't see it anymore. It's been undone and redone, reshaped. It's a lovely idea about the works of the devil. And I thought this must have the same word in it as that verse in John 10 where it says the thief comes only to steal, kill and destroy. But it's not the same word at all as that word that is used in John 10. It is the same word that is used in John 2. In fact, it's the only other verse where this word is used. It's in John 2, verse 19, when Jesus had just cleansed the temple and thrown out the moneylenders and so on. And they asked him what authority he had to do it. And he answered them, "Destroy this temple, and in 3 days I will raise it up again." Destroy or undo or melt or loosen. Interesting. It's the only other verse where John, and it's John who wrote 1 John, of course. John uses this word. He's the only person who uses it, and he uses it just in those 2 verses. So this idea that Jesus came to destroy, yes, to destroy the works of the evil one, the works of the devil, but to undo them, to make it possible to redo them the way they were meant to be, to take back the knitting and change the mistake. It's a lovely thought. I once knitted a jumper. Now, this is, ladies, go with me. Men, I hope you think about a shelf or something that you've done, something that you made a mistake in, and you wish you could go back and undo it. But I made a jumper once, and it wasn't until I had sewn it together and done the neck that I saw a mistake in one stitch in the pattern. It was a very patterned jumper on the collar, on the shoulder here. And to redo that, to undo that and correct it would have meant undoing all the stitching of putting the pieces together and the knitting of the collar. And I never did it. And I've always regretted not going back and undoing it and redoing it, because nobody else sees the mistake, but I see it every time. And I've never worn it much because I'm so aware of the mistake that I made. It was a beautiful jumper, but one stitch in the whole garment was wrong, and it was in a place where I always saw it, and I never wore it much at all. But God has sent Jesus to undo every bad thing that the enemy has planned and plotted against us. Every work of the devil he can undo, and he can remake it into something beautiful. You know, there's that verse in Romans 8 that tells us that God works together for good. Everything works together for good for those who love God. And that's another way of saying it, that what the enemy tries to make have a bad result in our lives, God changes through the work of Jesus. And it's this, I love this idea that the shape that's been made in the wax candle can be melted and reshaped. I don't know what the official word is for a candle maker, but for, you can reshape. The wax doesn't change, the human person doesn't change, but the shape that he's taken on because of the works of the devil is undone and reshaped by the work of Jesus. And it was just a lovely thought. So perhaps you can think about that today. Think about things you've made where you've had to undo them and correct mistakes, and what that means in spiritual terms for us. That's my thought for the day. Tomorrow, I expect we'll go back to Luke. God bless you. Have a great day. Bye-bye for now.